motherfucker.
What's up, man? Let me take you for a little spin, man. Show you what it feel like.
I gotta go make these drop-offs.
Man, you think you're the only one out here working, B? Gotta make drop-offs too, B. Come on, man, get in, man. I ain't taking no for an answer, man.
We here. We making it happen. We made it happen.
Yeah, man. Like I said, welcome to the No Cap Podcast. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for my viewers and my listeners.
Okay, my name is Michael Leslie. I'm the president, founder of Galvanized Financial. It's an investment company that is built upon social and group economics and also financial education. And that's what my my main day-to-day is.
Okay. So this is the No Cap Podcast, and like my main thing is to give information to my listeners raw, you know what I'm saying? So we just gonna have like a regular conversation, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into what you do. So we're gonna start like where you from and what's your educational background?
All right, well, I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. A little place called Co-op City, Section 5. If anybody knows, you have the South Bronx, and you have basically this area, Co-op City, that's 35 buildings. 30.
Hold on, I can't hear you. Yeah, it says you know, is it do I got you? Okay, there you go. Was it me? It probably was me.
You think so?
maybe. I'm still new to all this. All right, so my mistake. So
No,
Brooklyn. We was in Brooklyn.
No, that's a big no. The Bronx.
My bad. The Bronx.
Yeah, that's where hip hop was created.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The Bronx. So yeah, and if like I'm sure from where you from, if they that might be a big no to say Bronx versus Brooklyn.
No, I understand. I'm sure you definitely got to get it right. I'm sure.
I'm only messing with you, man.
No, it's all good, man.
So born and raised Bronx, New York. And I grew up. I went to school in Manhattan, and from there I went to college. I ended up in Philadelphia at Temple University. So I went to Temple University, graduated from Temple University, and
what did you go to Temple for?
I went to the crazy thing is I went to Temple for political science originally. I was gonna be a lawyer. I was gonna go to law school, but I ended up taking the law school exam. I wanted to score higher than I did. So I had an opportunity to take a job with the financial services firm called Vanguard. And since they were offering me a job right out of school, I didn't have to go back home to the Bronx.
Vanguard,
I decided to work.
I think I seen that name on the top of my 401k paperwork, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Vanguard. Okay. The funny thing about Vanguard is right now it's $7 trillion company. Okay. But you never see any commercials. People only know about it about their 401k.
Exactly. Right. And that's kind of what they say about like the hip hop community. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got so much money, you don't got to wear a whole bunch of chains and stuff because you're on a different tier already. So I'm not surprised by that. But what made you want to go into like financial instead of all the other fields you could have went through?
See, it's the love of money. True. It was my passion. It was my
when
passion.
I wrote that question,
money.
I already knew the answer to the question because it makes sense. But I gotta ask.
It's my passion for money because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have any real natural talent, right? I can't. I'm not a super athlete. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a I can't sing a song. I can't really give you a hot 16.
Right.
What I could do is I understood finance and numbers, you know, and it was something that it just intrigued me. The whole stock market, though. I watched movies, you know, you watch movies like Boiler Room or Wall Street,
Right.
and then it always intrigued me, the whole stocks and bonds and the whole thing. So it was a natural once I got involved.
Right.
You
And
know,
stocks and stuff, that's definitely something that we're gonna get into a little bit later. But what made you wanna offer investment education and business concepts to the non-targeted and the non-represented?
because coming up in the financial services game when I graduated and when I was coming up, there was nobody that looked like me or really understood. You know, when I first started, I didn't know the difference between a stock or a bond or a mutual fund. I didn't know
Right.
any of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when I got involved and I said, wow, it's no one that really looks like me, understanding stocks, understanding options, I felt that it was important to bring it back to that non-targeted community. And I've been in corporate environments, you know, like I said, Vanguard and a couple of others, you know, big companies. And I really wanted, for my legacy moving forward, I wanted to give back.
How long have you been doing that? And was that always your goal to give back, or was it something that you started maybe in the office and you was like, this ain't for me, I want to do something else?
No, my goal, I always gave back, even when I was at the in these corporate companies. For
Mm-hmm.
example, even when I'm a professor, right? I teach.
Right.
I teach at a historically black. I teach at, you know, for the trivia folks out there, the first historically black college in America, right? And so even when I was, and I didn't really do that.
What
For
college
any
is that?
real.
Because I don't even know what that is.
It's Lincoln University for your listeners.
And
Lincoln University.
and where is that
There's
located?
some. They're located in Oxford, Pennsylvania,
Okay. Yeah.
right? So you know, Lincoln University was a place that I learned. I basically teach undergraduate and graduate level finance courses. So I always gave back. This is just something now. It's full time. It's afforded me the opportunity to do this in private equity, which we'll get into. So it's not all just teaching and finance. It is private equity and it's fund management as well.
Okay. And was it something specifically that made you want to give back? Like, did you grow up did you grow up rough and it was like, I don't want to have my people live through what I lived through? Or was it something that you wanted to make generational wealth? Was it something specifically that drove you to that path?
I would say, you know, I grew up, you know, humble means. I'm not going to say I had to, you know, worry about where my next meal came from at
Right.
all, right? But I grew up in the Bronx. Things happened. You know, I grew up in the city. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So things happen in my life that probably most that grow up in that type of setting see as well. But I would say that again, getting back to, you know, like you said, your legacy, wealth building, understanding that you have to have passive forms of income to really sustain, you know, is key. And I always want to make sure that if there's once what is all said and done for me, I've passed on that message, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. So with that being said, we're gonna get into a little bit of what you do. So
Okay.
what would be the most important business concept that you would give a starting business owner?
I would say a concept to give a starting business
The
owner.
most important one. If you can tell them one thing, if you had them in the room for 5 minutes, what would be the thing you would leave them with?
I would say get started. Do it.
All right.
Don't let your analysis lead to paralysis. Sometimes we could plan and overplan and plan. Move forward and work out the kinks later and just refine the process. All of your big companies, I don't care if you're Vanguard, I don't care if you're Apple, they implement things that don't work 100% all the time. I don't care who they are. The important thing is you move forward. So I would
All
say
right.
the important business concept as an entrepreneur is don't let yourself get caught up in the issues to where you don't move forward.
All right. Exactly. And like I said, that makes sense too, because I believe, you know what I'm saying, repetition is the father of learning, you know what I'm saying? Once you do something over and over, it's going to be better the next time you do it than when you did it the first time. So that's definitely something I feel you on that. And
Absolutely.
what's the most important investment advice that you would have for the non-targeted and underrepresented? The most important investment advice that you would give them? Like if you had 5 minutes, you had to give them some investment advice. The most important thing about investing, what would you give them?
I would say start early and often. And it doesn't really matter how much you have. I don't care if it's $10. Or, Albert Einstein, smart man, right? Genius. He said, and I quote, and I'm paraphrasing, he said, the greatest force in the universe is compound interest. He didn't say gravity. He didn't say love. He didn't say any of that. He said compound interest. So if you start early and on a scheduled basis, you'll be fine. So that's what I would say. I don't care if it's $10. You put it away every month for 20 years. If you could do that consistently, you'll be surprised how much money you'll end up with.
Can you recall on the first investment that you ever made? And was it profitable? A profitable investment? And is it an investment that you still have today?
Yes, and yes, right? I do have, I still have the investment today. Yes, and the first investment that I put my money into was a 500 index fund. It was a mutual fund that I put some money into, and I continue to put that money into it on a consistent basis, like I'm telling you to do, and I made a lot of money with that.
Mutual fund for dummies. What's that?
Okay. So let's do this. If you had two windows, right? Like two windows. If you're looking at two windows, and if you can imagine these windows, one is a big window that's one single pane window.
Okay.
The other window is one of those windows that you see behind me, like broken up into squares. Do you see behind me?
Yeah.
You see those doors? So a window that has about 8 different small panes and a big window for the listener, right? If I gave you a rock and I said, throw that rock through one of those windows, but I want you to do the least amount of damage when you throw that rock through it, which one would you throw that rock through?
The first window, without all the squares.
So you would break the whole window, or you would break one? So it's one whole window, or a whole bunch of little windows, and like the one behind me.
Okay.
So if you had a rock and want to do the least amount of damage,
the least amount of damage. Okay, yeah. I hit it.
Which one would you pick?
The one behind you in the corner somewhere.
Exactly. Why? Because you could fix that little window without fixing the whole, without worrying about the whole thing. That's a mutual fund in essence, because a mutual fund is a stock made up of about 10 different holdings or more. So if one holding doesn't do as well, the other 9 can support it. So it's a more diversified, it diversifies your risk when you purchase a mutual fund versus one stock. It's basically don't put all your eggs in one basket. A stock is putting all your eggs in one basket, where a mutual fund is like, it's a party. It's about 10 different stocks that help each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And there are these stocks, are they provided to you to make sense, or are they or do you choose the mutual stocks that you want to put in the mutual fund?
No,
based off your own research.
Mutual funds are typically made up of pre-selected stocks that a portfolio manager feels are going to perform for you or perform for the shareholders. So to answer your question, you just put your money into it. It's a portfolio manager's job to manage that portfolio in line with the prospectus or the investment criteria that's laid out in the document, or the document that describes the services and how the fund is going to perform. We call it the prospectus.
Okay. Definitely breaking a lot of stuff down for me that I definitely didn't know before I talked to you. So one of the main areas of the financial market that I want to ask you questions about, because it's something that I see a lot in my community as far as like the social media, as far as people offering classes, or I think they sell like graphs, or like some type of way you can study charts or give some type of advantage in Forex. So getting into Forex, could you explain Forex as simple as possible for the listeners?
Sure. So Forex at a high level is short for, foreign exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Forex is short of for foreign exchange.
Okay.
A lot of things change, and primarily, currency trades on a foreign exchange and other different things. So it's basically, you have the New York Stock Exchange, right? That's a domestic United States of America exchange. But then you have the Forex, which is the foreign exchange, in which all types of foreign securities trade. So for me personally, when I trade Forex.
Okay. Let me hold you real quick. Okay, so now you say, like, for national, we got the New York Stock Exchange, which says in New York. The I don't got no I can't hear you. There you go. There you go.
You all right?
Yeah. So like the stock exchange is, I know it's a physical place you can go to. Is the Forex stock exchange somewhere a physical place you can go to as well?
No, it's not really physical. It's more of a virtual interconnected exchange, like the NASDAQ. Like, you ever heard of the NASDAQ?
Yeah, I heard of
it. Yeah, the NASDAQ is also, I'm sorry. The NASDAQ is an exchange as well, but it's not a physical location like the New York Stock Exchange, which is physical.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So for Forex, do you need to work Forex full time to make a livable wage off it? Like, if I wanted to make money off of Forex, would I have to quit my job and dedicate 8 to 10 hours of my day to it? Could I and should I? Would you advise somebody to do that? Okay.
Absolutely not.
That's what they push on, you know what I'm saying, on these Instagram, these classes. They like, you take this class, it'll be the last 200 you ever spend, the last $350 you ever spend, you know what I'm saying? So why do people get that perception?
See, this is the thing, and you got to understand, and like, this is, and for your listeners, this is one man's opinion, right? This is you were asking me the question, and what I'm going to say is, I'm a finance guy by nature. I'm a finance guy, so I deal with data and numbers, and I deal with probabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible? Yes, it is possible for you to do well and to make millions. It's possible, but is it probable?
All right, that makes sense.
You understand?
Yes.
And that's where I get caught. It's not. So I like Forex to complement what you're doing.
Exactly. And that's how I feel like any type of residual cash should be. But at the same time, I would want it to be noticeable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a little stock thing set up in my cash application on my phone, and I'm seeing a little get like $45 increase. But that ain't nothing I can, if I have an emergency, a $500 emergency, you know what I'm saying, something I can pick out of, you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to get into that area. So can you tell me how long Forex has been around? Because it seems like something that's just popped up, it seems like.
Forex has been around forever, brother.
Yeah.
They've been foreign currency has been trading for forever. You know, I can't tell you the exact date, but it's been trading. You know, people have been traveling and changing one currency for another for a long, long time. So with that, it's been around for forever. People are, and see, you know, what people are getting into is a lot of signaling software too, right? They're buying software or some multi-level marketing that tells you green when to buy and red when to sell. That's not really how I trade Forex.
Yeah.
I really use technical analysis and really read the charts and using, you know, all types of, you know, trying to get my edge by looking at support and resistance. So I'm actually using technical analysis, not using any signaling software.
Right. So, because that seems like what they might be selling, you know what I'm saying? The
Right.
software and all that. So,
The software and the subscription, everything's a subscription. So it's paying somebody residually, which is when I'm not going to knock anyone's hustle.
are you currently trading on Forex, if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I trade Forex. Absolutely. I absolutely trade Forex.
And would you advise anybody who's a beginning investor to jump into Forex as well?
This is what I would say.
For
It's
the
very
average
risky.
investor, the average investor just got off work. He got $50.
No, unless you're gonna put your heart and your mind into it, unless you're really gonna try to learn
The
and
graphs.
you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I paid like $1,000 for a course. It didn't blink because I'm into it like that. You see what I'm saying? You know, because I understand what it's gonna bring me back. Like for me, I do a lot. There's a lot of things that I'm sure me and you could both think of that we do for $300 or something like that, or whatever. But going to something that could potentially make us a lot of money, we may not do. So, you know, it depends on what you want to put into it. If you have the time to focus and study and read, and really get into it, yeah, you can make a lot of money. You could do really well.
Yeah, and that was my main. That's what my main thing. Was it something that you have to put your full time? You know what I'm saying? Full time.
Not full time. I hope I'm trying to articulate there's extremes, right? There's full time and there's no time. I need you to be somewhere in the middle.
I want to put my money somewhere and look at it sometime later, and it's more than what I put. So
I think before you might have to look at it a little more. But you know, it's not anything. I know some people that are in and out 20 minutes and they're done for the day.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Can you cheat Forex? Can you cheat? Because it seems like, are these guys that's offering like these graphs or like these predictions, or are they cheating Forex, or are they just somebody who's just been studying and are advanced in Forex?
You know, I'm not going to say cheat. I think they basically have some. I'm not going to say cheat. I don't think they're cheating. You know what I'm saying? Because cheating is relative, right? I think this is my personal opinion. I think that the software they're using can be correct, because it's understanding certain parameters like support and resistance. But there's other things that need to go into consideration that I think a human mind needs to do sometimes.
Right, always. That's all. No, I feel like that's always, you know.
Like, let me explain. Like, let me tell you something. Like a story, like something that maybe the computer might be hard for a computer to understand this. Like, I remember, like you said, trading Forex a long time. I was trading Forex and I was doing well. I was doing something called the London Breakout strategy. If your listeners are interested, you can Google this. It's called the London Breakout strategy, right? So I was doing that, doing that at night and doing well. And then one day I decided I'm going to load up. I'm going to crush this thing, and I am going to just put a lot of money into it. I think I put up like $4,000. I mean, I was doing really well on this with this, right? I put up $4,000. I go the next day and I end up losing about $2,700 of it the next day in like an hour and a half. I'm going nuts. I can't even get to a computer fast enough to get myself out of the trade. And I'm thinking, and me and my friend who both lost money on this, we're like, what are we doing? We looked at the charts, we saw everything. What happened? We didn't take into consideration that this job report came out earlier that this company, I mean, this currency, you know, has been devalued, and we just didn't take into consideration some news that popped up. So then again, so the signaling software might not catch that fundamental news.
Exactly.
That could have, like, right? Like that
signaling
software
type news, you know.
Right. Like what happens, you're looking at signaling, right? You're looking at signaling, and then the job reports come out, and it's like, oh man, but the signaling software says, hey, I could be wrong sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. That's my thing. I'm like, I'm not saying that you can't ever win off of it. I'm not saying that it might not be right. Hey, I'm not right all the time. I lose sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's all. I always expect that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta spend money to make money. You know what I'm saying? So as long as the outcome is overall what I'm looking for, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to get to.
Absolutely. And you're gonna lose.
Right.
You know, you try to be 70% right. You're good.
So where would you recommend somebody right now to invest their money? If you could, just any business, place, they got $50 right now, they listening, they want to invest right now. Where would you point them to? Would you point them to somewhere?
Can I do this? Can I keep it a little more broad? Can I tell you what I like?
Yeah.
Can I tell you the stocks I like and just why?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And leave it up to you.
Exactly.
And leave it up to you to put the denominator, but I just tell you what I like.
And that's kind of for me too. Let me get your insight. What you got on there?
Okay, this is what I like. One man's opinion. I'm gonna give you the rationale too. Somebody wants to debate me and say, "Hey, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about." Debate me and tell me what you and why I'm wrong and why I'm looking at this crazy.
And that's definitely what we do on the No Cap podcast. So if anybody want to reach out to me, and I have to get at you for the part 2, I'm gonna let you know. So if anybody want to reach out, the contact information will be in the description of this podcast. But you can go ahead and continue.
All right. So one of the things I like, you know, and I'm gonna go long term though on this one. I like. So do you have a somewhat a youthful audience, right? I'm assuming.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go out long term for them. I want them to play airlines.
And like I said, I'm listening too, because you know I do my little dibs and dabs too. I put my little couple dollars in there too, so I'm listening and taking my notes as well. So.
This is long term, right? Okay. This is long term. This one I'm gonna give you our long term outlook, but short to medium to long term, because things have been hurt. Mm-hmm. Airline industry. I love airlines. Exactly. I think we're going to continue to fly. I think we're going to continue. We're going to get this vaccine, and where people, of course, some people are not going to take it, but overall, I think it's good for the American psyche for this vaccine to be out. Yeah. People are going to want to fly like no other. I think that we've been cooped up for the last year and a half. I think people are going to be flying everywhere. Vegas, where I think flights are going to do well. And when I say invest in,
I know people taking flights now with the restrictions.
There you go. So in particular, I would like to go with best of the brand when to make sure you hedge your risk, right? Mm-hmm. When I say best of the brand, I don't really want you to go JetBlue. Mm-hmm. I really don't want you to go Spirit. I'm thinking Delta, American Airlines. Okay. Going if you like for airlines. Okay. I think that airlines are going to do well. Another one. I think with the new Biden administration, its clean air pledge, and I have it on my podcast, the What We Don't Know podcast, when I talk about the clean air pledge. Okay. You're gonna want to shift some of your portfolio to renewable energy. Yeah. Any clean energy, wind, solar. There's some really good stocks out there. Fuel Cell, Plug Power, name a few.
That's why I was just trying to open my phone up. I dropped it and it's acting weird. But Plug Power, I swear, I just got like $9 from Plug Power today.
Look at that. Well, maybe it's an omen. I'm not saying that you buy it or not. I'm just saying what we like, and we're throwing some good ones out there. Yeah, okay. We just have to have something on the same frequency, right?
Right. Okay. Bad.
Like blink charging. I love lithium phones, 5G. I love lithium companies. Okay. You know, sometimes like I guess I'm looking at the what's his the Andrew Carnegie, I think it was. He likes to buy. He does, instead of buying the car, he likes to buy the steel. The you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So buy the raw material, and
Right.
lithium is going to be big. It's going to be continue to be big. You know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? You know what else? You know what? This is a good one. This is financials. I love financials.
Yeah.
And I mean big ones. Oh yeah, because you know I'm a finance guy. You know I'm a finance guy. And I'm talking again. Best of the brand. I love Bank of America. I love well. I'm not big on Wells Fargo because the CEO pissed me off. So I like Bank of America. You know, there's going to be an influx of PPP, EIDL, stimulus money. It all got to flow through the banks, brother.
Exactly.
I'm telling you. And also, which is big, which is key, which I know, and this is for your listeners, I know that this went under the radar for 90% of America, but there was some legislation a couple of weeks ago that the big banks can buy back their shares, right? So little quick econ question. What happens when you reduce the supply? What happens to the demand? It goes up, all right? So big banks, I love financials. I like Bank of America, okay? The last but not least, can I give you now if I get hit by a bus after this conversation, you're not going to be able to say Mike didn't tell you something. Mike didn't make you some money if you listen, all right? You not, okay, this is my.
I lost you. That's them people, man. They trying to stop that information, man.
What's going on with
there
that?
You go.
10 minutes. Hello?
Yeah, there's some people when you was finna drop that information.
I know, right, man? You know what I'm saying? I got to watch out. If I do get hit by a bus, you know,
right.
you heard what happened.
Hey, they like, we tried to stop you, man.
Game. You're giving up too much game. The one I love, this the Mike triple double down bonus is Walgreens, brother. Walgreens. Okay. We're gonna need somebody to give out that good old vaccine juice. Yes. Who's gonna do it? The biggest boy in town, Walgreens. And you know why I even love them even more so? Because Jeff Bezos and Apple, they were going to get into the pharmaceutical game, but they decided not to eat their food. So now, since they done pulled the chips from off the table, there's only one big dog. Right. Forget CVS, forget Rite Aid, Walgreens is that deal. I'm telling you. Mark it down now. Put it in where we had this on what date, and I want you December 31st. Where the hell is Walgreens at? And you said, damn it, Mike made somebody some money in my pocket.
I'm putting money in all, especially in the airlines and Walgreens. I definitely see your vision there.
Come on, bro. What did I say?
I see the airlines going off now, bro. Especially because it ain't doing nothing, but it got to pick back up. So
come on, man. We gonna still fly. We gonna still fly, brother. Gonna still fly.
I got a couple shares in Ford, man. That's why I say my thing. Like some years from now, some years, but cars gonna fly. Cars gonna fly.
We gonna continue to fly. Everybody's going. So everybody gonna go to Miami. Everybody got to get lit. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
It's gonna be okay. Put that in your put that in your. If you have a baby, put it in their 529 plan right now. Give them 20 years. They're gonna kiss you.
And that pretty much kills my last question that I had for you was it even a good time to be investing your money with the COVID-19 and the pandemic shit all going on? That basically answered my question. So
let me tell you something. Warren Buffett said it best. When people get scared, you get greedy. You know what I'm saying? When people get scared, you get greedy.
We're gonna invest in some tissue.
When people get greedy, you get scared.
Makes sense, man.
So the best millionaires come out of crisis, out of catastrophes.
Okay. So before I get you up out of here, man, give me 3 things I should never do when I'm visiting the Bronx.
3 things you should never do when you're visiting the Bronx. I'm gonna say,
Not just like vacation stuff, like brother to brother, like, man, don't do this, don't do that. 3 things.
I was 3 things. That's a good one. Let me see 3 things that I wouldn't do. I would say probably confuse Brooklyn with the Bronx.
Okay, definitely makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
You confuse streets out here in Chicago, that could definitely mean your life. Makes sense.
That's one.
Okay.
And just know that if you brown in the Bronx, it's all one, right?
Okay. That's right.
Puerto Rican, Black, Dominican, we won there. So everybody is love, right?
Yeah. That's why I see that in New York. That's why like the Puerto Ricans and the Mexicans and stuff, they say like the N-word, they say nigga and stuff. And in Chicago they do as well, but it's more segregated. Like they say the N-word nigga and stuff, but they be segregated in their own neighborhoods, their own schools and stuff. But in New York, they like everybody together and stuff with it. So I definitely see that. You got one more thing for the people, man, just so we safe, man. It's a crazy world, man. One more thing that we shouldn't do when we visit on the Bronx, man.
The one thing that you shouldn't, the last thing you probably shouldn't do is play yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just don't play yourself. Go there and just and mind your business and walk with a purpose. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Man. That's you know what I mean. But I would say if you go there, get a Henny Colada, hit up BBQs, and go to Co-op City, go to Bay Plaza, and go and go take your girlfriend and go shopping, and it's a good time.
All right, man. Appreciate you for coming on, man. I definitely appreciate your insight, man. That's why I said the No Cap podcast is just something, because I feel like my listeners, they're underrepresented. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people we don't think beyond what you see on TV with like the music and the movies and the shit like that. So I definitely appreciate you coming on and giving out your insight and your expertise, man.
Absolutely. Listen, man, I appreciate you. As you know, you extended your hand to me with your music and your abilities, and I've been using them on a couple of my podcast episodes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting better with that too, man. I got some shit coming out. It's better. Like I said, all this shit. I don't got no background and none of this shit. It's just like I just felt like I need to be heard, man. So
yeah, I feel the same way. Just keep on watering that. Keep on building upon it and learning more. And you know what I'm saying? Because you're doing a hell of a job, man. And I just want to know for the people in Chi-Town, if they ever want to, listen to a business entrepreneurial podcast, please, hit me up. I'm on all streaming platforms: iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It's the What We Don't Know podcast. What We Don't Know podcast. And give me a listen. And I'm sure we're gonna do more. I'm sure we're gonna do more.
Of course. Anything, any information. That's what I said. Now you my financial expert now. You know what I'm saying? So
all right, I'm gonna hold you to that. So if anything financial, I hope I get at least a say so first before you get big, and then you wanna No, brother. See. Hey, brother. Get big, you don't want to use me no more.
Nah, man. See, we networking, man. We had the relationship was already good, man. We're gonna keep it that way, man. So I definitely want to say appreciate you coming out, man. If anybody want to reach out to him, I'll make sure I put all his information in the description of this podcast. It's gonna be on all major platforms, and I think that's it, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the time, good brother. You have a good night.
What's up, man? Let me take you for a little spin, man. Show you what it feel like.
I gotta go make these drop offs.
Man, you think you're the only one out here working, B? Gotta make drop-offs too, B. Come on, man, get in, man. I ain't taking no for an answer, man.